And welcome back to the homemade podcast of sports with your host Jay Pops. Guys, forgive me. I have to rotate. I had to rotate my phone. It didn't let me do my side view, or at least I forgot to put it on my sideways, right? So you guys could get me in the act. But guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Uh, man, I'm going to start doing something, right? I'm going to try out something new. I'm going to start doing my best to do like the short films, right? Because I believe that this is what my baby boy asked me one day. Hey, do you do the little couple of minutes clip that they do on YouTube? I told him no, but I think I'm gonna have to start investing in that. All right. So guys, welcome back. Welcome back. We are here. Okay. Give me 1 second here. All right. Ah. Got to get that fan going, guys. I'm on the back porch. So please keep in mind for my overreaction shows, okay, I'm going to do my best to target this for 4 p.m. on Sundays, okay? Now, of course, next week we don't have a game. We are officially on one of the bye weeks of the season. This is a perfect time, right? This is a perfect time for Mike Elko to talk to that defense and let them know, hey, man, we can't give up 40 points a game, all right? We done enough of that, giving up about 20 plus to UTSA and Utah State, all right? So, anywho, look, we won the game. That's it. It is what it is. I love that victory that we all seen on last night, all right? Also, keep in mind, all right, I will have two directly live shows, right? Instead of the premiere that you guys see all the time that comes out throughout the weekday, right? I will start having two premieres, two live events a week, okay? Shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now. I think this is probably like the most people I've ever seen on live in a very long time, and we're only like 2 minutes into the show. I thank all of you guys for tuning in, man. I thank all of you. I have no clue of how there's 38 people that's looking at this thing live right now. I'm not going to believe that number. I think it's totally false. But anyways, look, we are here, okay? I know a lot of people want to see what all happened last night, all right? Number one, that game was by far the most awesome game that we have all watched in a very long time from Texas A&M, excluding that game when they played Alabama, okay? And it's crazy because it was always Alabama that they had to play, and that was a very exciting game, okay? That's excluding the LSU game, right? The LSU game was by far phenomenal. 7 overtimes, very long game. This one here, I think Marcel Reed told himself, hell no, we're not going to go to overtime, but if it does takes us there, right, it is what it is. I love this game, man. That final score ended up being 41-40. Marcel Reed threw the game-winning touchdown to the tight end, right, and which is a tight end that not a lot of people even much thought about, including myself. But guess what? He was out there on the field. The people that they were looking to make the play was either KC Concepcion or Mario Craven, okay? I love that grit. I love that grit, all right? This is insane. This is insane, man. And I believe that we're going to continue to get a lot of this going forward. I told people before the season started, Texas A&M is going to be a very fun football team to watch. What we seen last night, that's your Texas A&M offensive identity. They can either beat you with running the ball, they can beat you passing the ball. It's all up to what you guys, that's the opponents, the opposing team, are going to scheme against. If they feel like you're just trying to crowd up and knock out the run game, that's when Marcel Reed goes over the top and he hits KC Concepcion and Mario Craven. I can't say enough about that dude. I think we're finally going to look at two wide receivers for Texas A&M getting 1,000 yards apiece before the season is done, okay? I feel good about where we're at. Everybody else should feel good about where we're at, okay? On last year, they lost that game to Notre Dame in their own home stadium. I knew once they got out there to South Bend, nobody forgot about that, including Le'Veon Moss, all right? Marcel Reed was never the starter of that game, but guess what? Marcel Reed's the starter now. Does Marcel Reed need to improve? Hell yeah, he does. He does. But he'll get it right. He'll get it right, okay? If you was to tell me that KC Concepcion was going to get open, if you was to tell me that Mario Craver was going to get out there and get open, right, at least 4 times last night, I would have told you that you were lying. What happened was that they got open at least 5 times last night. Marcel Reed connected on a couple, couldn't hit all of them. If Marcel Reed would have at least hit half, that game would have been a blowout. I'm going to say this once again, it would have been a blowout. Regardless of what you guys are saying the defense did, that game would have been a blowout by Texas A&M. That's okay. That's what we got the bye week for. Marcel Reed needs to go back. He needs to work on a couple of touches on them throws, and he'll be fine. Okay? You're not going to sit up here and hear me say Marcel Reed for Heisman. I'm not going to go that far with it. What I will tell you is that Marcel Reed had a Heisman moment last night. I don't care about what people are telling you about the potential holding call that was on Texas A&M last night that didn't get the call. Okay? I ain't worried about that. You guys shouldn't be worried about that. Aggie fans out there, it's time to sit up. Stop trying to act like your team is not good. The damn team is good. Get over it. Okay? This is what we wanted. Everybody wanted to see Texas A&M pass the football. This is what we're doing right now. We're passing the football. We're going to keep it going, okay? That running game is going to be elite, all right? For Le'Veon Moss to have 3 touchdowns in this game, that lets you know why they were holding Le'Veon Moss back those first 2 games. He got one the game before last against Utah State, but guess what? They wanted him to sit back. Don't show it yet. What we seen last night was Colin Klein's offense in full effect. You go back to Kansas State and you watch that guy. He didn't have the players like he has now. It's the reason why when Mike Elko called him and told him, hey, man, I need you to come to College Station. He came. And now we're here. I love it. Everybody else should love it. Okay? This Texas A&M team is legit. I know it's early. It's way early. I've seen all of the things they put out there, the Aggie roller coaster, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to tell you that this not your papaw Texas A&M team. All right? This is not the Texas A&M team from 10, 15 years ago. Okay? I sat up here and I told a couple of you guys, and for the ones that's been following me for a long time and been watching this show for a long time, okay? This is how we do it, but I also told you that this was how we was going to do it once that offense started to click. Okay? I told you guys that. Also told you a couple of more other things, all right? I told you, if you was to get KC Concepcion and Mario Craver to just go out and beat him, the sky is the limit. All right? Just like how that Lil Wayne song went a long time ago, the sky is the limit. That's what they're doing right now. Okay? The sky is the limit for this team. Defensively, yeah, they need to get the shit together. They do. They need to get the shit together. All right? It kind of sounds like I'm all over the place, but guess what? I'm not. I'm bringing it all back. It's all locked in with each other. Defensively, they need to get their shit together. We're not going to sit up here and act like we had a great defensive game because we did. Okay? Running the football, I think they were pretty good against that Notre Dame defense. I don't know what else you wanted to see. Okay? A lot of people are missing really what happened last night. One of those plays from up there on the 20-yard line in which was the Notre Dame 20-yard line, Marcel Reed threw a good pass to Ruben Owens. I don't think a lot of people even much knew that Ruben Owens even caught the damn football last night, but that was Ruben Owens, number 4, people. That was him. Okay? He looked like the 5-star out there. That is what I said. I said this offense is going to spread people out. They're going to use the running backs running. They're going to use the running backs throwing. Ruben Owens was spread out. He went out. Marcel Reed caught him, and he caught the football. Crazy stat last night from Marcel Reed, right? I know everybody's seen this one. 17 of 37. I love how the way Marcel Reed got up to the podium and said this here. Obviously, it wasn't a good completion percentage for me, but I did what I had to do to win the football game. That's what I've been waiting to hear from one of these quarterbacks since Kellen Mond. And this was Kellen Mond's final season in 2020. I think we now have a quarterback that's arguably legit, right? May not be Kellen Mond, may not be John, but he's legit. He's a competitor. He's a winner. He's a motivator. And he's a guy that likes and loves football. He loves what he's doing. Okay? He takes this game to heart. And you can tell on last night when he had his Heisman moment. That's a Heisman moment. Once again, I'm not saying Marcel Reed is going to be your Heisman winner, okay, for 2025. I didn't say that part. I said that was a Heisman moment. All right? This next game, man, this next game against Auburn, this should be fun. This should be very, very fun, okay? I don't know. I'm looking at some right now. Somebody saying he's terrible. Well, who's terrible? Please come in here and tell me. Okay? I see a lot of Sooner fans in here too. Well, I see one. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna sit up here and exaggerate. Say I see a lot. I see one of them talking about Boomer. All right. I'm assuming that he's a Boomer soon. All right. But this game, right? That Auburn game should be very fun when Texas A&M plays them. But it's going to be the other way around. Auburn is coming to town. Okay? Auburn is coming to town. Texas A&M is going to be a marked team again. Okay? This is going to be the second year in a row under Mike Elko. Listen to what I'm telling you now. This is going to be a second year in a row where Mike Elko and this football team is going to be marked. They put them in the top 10. I'm not sure if everybody has seen that. Okay? Texas A&M is your new number 10 team. South Carolina has been kicked out. All right, Clemson has been kicked out. Texas, you're still in there in the top 10. I got questions though, okay? We'll get to that a little bit at the end of this podcast, all right? But Texas, I got questions. I have serious questions, Texas. All right, but back to this game here. Jeremiah Love. It's nobody that can come on this podcast and take away what Jeremiah Love did. Everybody in the damn football stadium knew that Jeremiah Love was going to touch the football. I think he touched it about 20 times, only came away with like 95 yards. If you was going to tell me that Jeremiah Love was going to touch this football 20 times and only get 95 yards, I would have told you that you were lying, okay? I would have told you that you were lying. No, man, that defense stepped up. They shut down the running game. The problem was that we kept giving them good field position, okay? C.J. Carr, that guy's going to be a beast going forward, all right? That guy is going to be a beast going forward. For it to come down to this game where they were playing the Texas A&M team with a ton of experience, that's insane to me. But that Texas A&M team right there that went out and done what they did, that's what experience leads you to. It's the reason to why they had that offensive line picked that's one of the best in the country. That offensive line didn't give up a sack on yesterday. To my knowledge, they didn't give up not one sack. But let me go in here and check this out, because I could be lying. But to my knowledge, they didn't give up not one sack on yesterday, man. Not one. All right, so let me go in here and look at it. Team stats. Let me go to the box score. Let me see what Notre Dame had. Notre Dame had 0 sacks on yesterday. I was right. God damn it. I was right. They had 0 sacks. You don't know how good that feels. Marcel Reed went down for a little bit. I understand that, but you don't know how good that feels. Okay? We've been waiting on the offensive line. We've been waiting on these Maroon Goons to make their way back to College Station. And now they're here. They went out there to South Bend and they done it. 0 sacks in the game. 0. Okay? 0 sacks in the game. A&M defense on yesterday. 1 sack. 1 good sack, too. 1 good sack that disrupted everything. All right? Disrupted a lot. And that, once again, is what you look for. All right? That is what you look for. I just want for everybody to know that this Texas A&M team, probably years ago, they probably would have lost. Who knows? They probably would have lost. But they didn't. They didn't. That lets you know where this A&M team is doing their best to get to. This also lets you know that this Texas A&M team is probably one of a kind. Okay? This Texas A&M team has heart. And this Texas A&M team worked all offseason to learn how to finish football games. Once they got up to that goal line on yesterday, I said to myself, man, this is the same situation that you were in when you were playing Texas. Okay? Not knowing that this was the same situation that you were in when you were playing Auburn last year. Some of those games you could have won if you just would have finished the football game. They finished the football game on last night. I'm going to say it again. They finished the football game on last night. All right? I still don't think they're scaring anybody, right? I'm not going to come on here and say all of that nonsense, but I think they are putting a lot into people's heads. They're putting a lot into the opponent's defensive mind frame of when they pull out their defensive playbooks, okay? And they're telling people that if you do not have the offense to keep up, they're going to do their best to run you out the building. All right? That was a statement win on the road. We will see how this thing carries along as the season goes, right? Because like I say, they come home. And we're going to have to find out how they look against SEC competition one way or another. All right? And I think Marcel Reed still needs to improve on a downfield throwing game, in which, me personally, I never had a problem with the guy passing downfield. Okay? However, I did see some things last night that even Marcel Reed would agree with you on. And of course, Mr. Rod Reed, which is Marcel's dad, would also agree on, in which is, hey, you got to work on this downfield passing, baby. You got to put the bread in the basket and let those guys run and make the plays for you, okay? Mario Craver killed this thing. And I mentioned this name about 8 times already. But Mario Craver killed it. All right, so now I'm going to talk about these guys individually. Mario Craver killed it last night. For him to catch that touchdown pass, which was the first one, and run that 86 yards down the field off of literally broken tackles, he pulled the Ryan Williams from Alabama when they played Georgia on last year. Okay? That makes me very excited to know that we have one of those guys on the team now. All right? I'm going to say this once again. We have one of those guys on the team now. I do think there's some corners out here that can cover Mario Williams. Mario Craven. Okay? I'm not going to say that. But if Mario Craven continues to show up every game, he's going to have over 100 receiving yards per game. Literally. All right? They just played against some Notre Dame corners, and where they are legit corners, and most of those guys go top 5 rounds in the NFL draft, or at least under Marcus Freeman's tenure. All right? And Mario Craven just put up 200 yards by himself on them. That says a lot. KC Concepcion, all All right. I'm not going to forget him. KC Concepcion had a touchdown of his own. KC Concepcion is legit. It was a pass that Marcel Reed threw that I knew for sure was probably finna go over KC Concepcion's head, but because he could jump up and get the ball, he brought it down. Theodore, I'm going to get to him in a minute. Hold on. KC Concepcion is by far one of the better route runners I think I've seen play football in a while. That guy can run some damn routes. He's a first-round talent. He's coming out this year. Okay? After this year, that's it. He came to College Station for a reason. All right? A lot of people going to tell y'all, man, he just came there for the money. He probably did. But guess what? He's getting his money's worth. That's all I will say. He's getting his money's worth, and he's breaking records at the moment. Okay? But that guy is a legit threat. Him and Mario Craver together, one on the outside, one on the other, man, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, okay? Those guys look very good. I applaud those guys, and they're not going to stop. A guy that still hasn't made his presence known, I had that breakout game, so to speak, Terry Bus. Terry Bus. I'm going to say that once again. A guy that hasn't had that breakout game just yet, Terry Bus. He was the 5-star athlete that came out. Guess who wanted that guy? Bad. Both programs. LSU and Texas. I'm going to say it once again. LSU and Texas. They both wanted him. He chose A&M. He made a good choice. He made a damn good choice. Okay? He hasn't had that breakout game yet. But watch him against Auburn. I'm going to say that again. Watch him against Auburn, okay? Hold on real quick, man. I see a comment in here I got to acknowledge, all right? I'm going to acknowledge some of these comments. Somebody from Alabama. Good win, Aggies, roll tide, and go SEC. Isabella Lopez. Yo. Isabella Lopez again. Hi. Young Dayo, 77. Looks like an Arkansas fan there. Happy Gilmore. Hey man, I gotta ask you, are you a believer in black and brown unity? I have no clue what that means, but if you're I don't know what that means, but if you're asking me, do I believe in races coming together? Yes. Okay. Hey, one time I took a fat dump and I don't know who these people are. All right. Auburn stands for Alabama, usually beats us rednecks. Oh my Lord. I don't know what y'all talking about in the comment section. All right, but shout out to all of you guys for tuning in. All I would say is continue to tune in, okay? For me, man, I picked, and I'm going to get back to individually. I picked A&M to win that game last night, 28-23. Both Notre Dame and A&M exceeded all of my expectations, because it was undoubtedly 28-24 in the first half. That's wild and that's insane. I didn't expect that many points to be scored that quick, but that's crazy. All right. But at the end of the day, once again, A&M won 41-40. All right. That by far exceeded everything that I thought both of these teams were gonna do. Okay. But let's keep on going here, man. So Theodore Milton Morster. Hey man, let's give these tight ends some love already, okay? Theodore Milton Morster. Damn good. I'm going to say that once again. Damn good. He's going to continue to be a legit tight end threat. Amari Nyblack. Hold on Nyblack. Because I see you. And you're getting old. I see you. Just hold on. Mark my words when I say just hold on. And somebody, if you guys can, please show these clips to Amari Nyblack. Okay? Hold on. We're not done yet. So Amari Nyblack, that's another one, right? Tight end. But Theodore Milton Morster, that catch that he made, nobody is giving him credit for making that catch to move up to where we were. Okay? For Texas A&M to have about 15 penalties and overcome all of that, that's insane to me. That's something that won't be talked about neither, but then again, it will. That's insane. That's showing you a team that can win even when they play undisciplined at times. Imagine what they can do when it's a pretty flawless game where I'm talking about like 5 penalties probably being thrown, and that's it. That's unbelievable, okay? That's very unbelievable. I expect a whole lot more from this team. Mark my words. This team is going to score a whole lot more points. I don't even much think we've seen a finished product yet, okay? This team is yet to reach 60 to 70 points. This team has yet to reach 50-some points. I think they're going to do that in one of these games. I don't know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be against the SEC opponent. I don't want to say the name, but I think they're going to score a lot of points. And I think a lot of people are going to look around the country and say, wow. Okay, just remember what I said. Remember what I said, okay? But Theodore Miller, man, if it wasn't for that catch, man, we would have never moved up there, okay? And if you don't know what catch I'm talking about, go back to like the last 3 minutes of the game and Theodore Miller going up high to make that catch and get the first down. Lean back and got the first down, okay? Let's keep on going here. The running backs out the backfield. Way to go. Marcel Reed will kill you with intermediate passes. Intermediate, that guy has like 95 to 100%. Seriously, he has like 95 to 100%. And credit to Holman Wiggins, the wide receiver coach. I'm going to say that once again. Credit to Holman Wiggins, the wide receiver coach, for coming through. I can't say enough about you, man. You have went out and you have found these wide receivers. The cold part about it is that Jerome, what's his name? Jerome Miles, if I'm not mistaken, the 5-star wide receiver. And you guys can see my daughter in the background. No, baby, I'm recording. I'm recording, baby. I'm recording. Okay? But Jerome Miles, and which is the 5-star recruit that suffered a season-ending injury, I think in practice, if I'm not mistaken. He's another one that hadn't even seen the field. This is not all of the A&M wide receiver core that you guys are looking at. God forbid Jerome Miles get healthy and come back later on throughout the season. God forbid that happens. Okay, and they're going to be totally dominant. What's the other one, man? Another wide receiver here. I think Isaiah Williams, if I'm not mistaken. I think he played a little bit, and I think he caught a pass. Astor Belter-Roman. Let me see, man. Let me check these stats because I don't want to just start dropping names and they didn't catch anything. Okay. So Texas A&M receiving. All right, Bussy. 2 catches for 27 yards, 13.5 yard average. All right. Ruben Owens, 1 catch for 24 yards. Nate Brockovich. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I'm not going to mess it up. 1 receiving catch for 11 yards and 1 game-winning touchdown. Theodore Melton-Nordstrom, 2 for 9. Mario Craver, 7 for 207. KC Concepcion, 4 for 82. That's crazy to me. It was man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Mario Craver only had 7 receptions in this game, and his average was 29.6. Those are some crazy stats. Crazy. Shout out to the ones that left. No hard feelings. But you guys weren't these guys that I just mentioned. Okay? There ain't no shot to you guys. I'm just speaking facts here. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of those guys that have left that were wide receivers are getting any playing time right now, which is insane to me, man. That's blowing my mind. Guys, I want to thank you once again for being with me on this NFL Sunday. I know I'm taking you guys away from the games, stuff like that, but that's the reason why I say I'm going to have it at about 4 o'clock. Cowboys went off, so I know kind of everybody is, probably tuned in the podcast by now, okay? But what we have at the skill position, we just hadn't had it in I said this, We hadn't had it since 2016. We hadn't had guys be this dominant in 3 straight games since 2013. It's been that long. Texas A&M right now has scored 40+ points in 3 straight games. And one was against Notre Dame. In South Bend at that. Notre Dame hadn't allowed an opponent to score 40 points on them at Notre Dame, I think, since 2018. We went in there and we done it. Texas A&M also hadn't got a top 10 victory on the road since 2014, but hadn't beat a non-conference top 10 opponent on the road since 1979. That streak has finally been broken. That's all credit to Mike Elko, and that's all credit to Colin Klein for just dialing it up on the last play call and saying, just go and deliver. Okay? That's all I have for that game. Now let's get to some other ones, at least 2. Texas fans. I know a lot of you guys come in these podcasts that are A&M. I know a lot of you guys go to Texas because, truth be told, we're really the only radio station that's on for you guys. I don't know what they do in Austin, nor do I know if they have a radio station. Guess what? Texas got one, and they're on an actual radio station for 3 straight hours. I don't know if Texas in Austin I don't know if Austin, Texas has that. They probably don't, and that's the reason why you guys be in Aggie Park, in the Aggie Texas thing, and everybody else podcast all day long and all the time. All right. What I will say to you guys is this here. That Texas defense is legit. They're elite. That Texas offense is straight up trash. It is that offense is god awful. They already know that people around the country is talking about. Okay. Now, petting me because I was a guy that was telling you all that you guys can't give up on Arch Manning and stuff like that. I would still say you can't give up on him just now because they have issues all across the board on that offense. And once again, I said what I said before the season started. Texas is a 9-3 team. And they will go exactly what I just said. They will go 9-3 due to inexperience. It was too many guys that left that team. And it's starting to show even against lesser competition. I will tell you this. If Texas thinks that they're going to walk out there with that type of offense and they're going to beat people in the SEC because they just got the defense to do it, then I'm going to be the first one to tell you again for the second year in a row, welcome to the SEC. Because Mississippi State will not be an easy opponent in Starkville, especially when they're ranked, because they're going to be ranked here in just a little bit, okay? Vanderbilt is not going to be an easy opponent, although they're coming to your house when they're ranked. Florida, although Florida is down right now, and I'm going to talk about them too, they're not going to be an easy opponent because their back is up against the wall. Who else you guys got? Georgia, I think that's self-explanatory. If you're thinking you're going to walk into Georgia and just sleepwalk and think that they're going to give you the game because you got Arch Manning on your side and a hell of a defense, then, man, I'm going to say this here. You're going to get blown out in that game just like you done on last year. All right? I don't know if this is a troll or what, but somebody just said my mom died in a car accident. Prayers to you and my condolences to you and your family, okay? I just wanted to point that out. But if you think you guys will walk into Georgia and win that, just like I said before, you're going to get blown out, okay? And you're going to get drugged all over that Georgia Bulldog Stadium, all right? Literally, man. Like, you're seriously going to get drugged all across that state, all right? What's the other opponents that you guys have? Because you guys haven't started SC. Oklahoma. Oklahoma is going to beat you guys. I am picking Oklahoma to win that game. It's It's not going to be an upset at all, but I'm picking Oklahoma to win that game. Guys, if you all don't mind, I don't know how that money thing goes, but guys, if you want to, hey, you can drop $1 or $2 in that money pool. I have no clue how you do that. That's why I never ever talked about it. But you guys can drop some money in that money pool. I don't know where that money goes, but just to help out the podcast, hey, you guys can start hitting the cash button, dropping $10, $1, 50 cents. I don't know, guys. I'm just talking. I don't know how that thing works, okay? But anywho, I do have Oklahoma winning the Red River rivalry game. Damn that. I'm the Red River Shootout. I hate that they took that name away from me. Okay? I have them winning it. Shout out to Ronnie Barker flying in from Tokyo to watch Mississippi State in the Florida game. Come on. Because those are going to be some good games. Although Florida's down, Florida's going to be a good game. But we will see. Okay? We will see. But once again, I believe Oklahoma is going to be Texas. Okay? Because from what I've seen with that Texas offense, playing against a lesser competition once again, man, that's not good. That's not good. They really have some things to work on, and your defense will only hold up for so long. Okay? They really have some things to work on. Who else is the SEC opponent on that schedule for Texas? Arkansas. I believe Arkansas will beat y'all if you do not step up. Because Taylor Green is a good enough quarterback, right? In which A&M has to go to Arkansas, by the way, this year. But Taylor Green is a good enough quarterback to give you guys a run for your money. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And they come to you guys this year. They come to you guys this year. I know that. And if you're sleepwalking, they're going to beat you in your home stadium. Okay? Once again, Texas will go 9-3. The next loss that I have you guys losing is when A&M come to town. And I know you guys are going to sell that game out. You guys are going to be hyped. We didn't win last year. Marcel Reed, he was a quarterback. I know this part. That defense is still elite. But if that offense can't do anything, they're going to get beat. And for whatever reason, I believe that game is going to be a shootout. It's going to be an offensive shootout. And I think at the end of the game, Marcel Reed delivers once again. Okay? That is all I'm saying. I'm going to the Buddy Showtime BRG. I'm going to subscribe just because you are wearing a AC/DC shirt, and I'm an AC/DC fan. Fire shirt. Man, appreciate it. I appreciate it a whole lot. I forgot where I got this shirt from too, but I appreciate that a whole lot. As you can see, guys, if it's Sunday, I'm not going to be in Aggie gear. I'm telling you guys this right now. I'm not going to be in Aggie gear. I got on my hat though, but I'm the only reason why I'm not in Texan gear is because Texans play on tomorrow. Okay, and it was no reason for me to wear the gear today when I could just put it on tomorrow. All right. Slim Shady 21, sweet shirt, brother. Thank you. Man, it sounds like I need to give me more of these shirts. Okay, I am going to do that. I need to give me more of these shirts. Quit BSing around. And that's just what it is. All right. Somebody in the comments again. Georgia is my team. Go Dogs. A lot of people still want to sleep on Georgia for whatever reason. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm officially done with Texas. I think Arch Manning does have some questions that needs to be answered. Somebody saying go Ducks, that mean Oregon. But somebody does have some serious questions to answer about Arch Manning and the production that he's giving out as of right now. I have no clue what's going on, but somebody has to get that together already. Okay, so let's keep on going here. And how about we just talk about the top 5 teams right now? So number 1 is Ohio State. Well, the top 10 teams, rather. Ohio State, right? Ohio State still looks good to me. it's nothing that you can say about Ohio State. I know they didn't win the game like 50-3 or 50-7 or something like that, but that offense is still deadly. It is. It's literally still deadly. Okay. Uh, they almost put up about 40 points on yesterday, but they didn't. Okay, I understand that. That defense is legit. That's an Ohio State defense, in where if you go back to, I believe, 2018 or 2019, when Ohio State played Clemson in that college football playoff, 2019, that's how that defense looks. It looks like that Ohio State team. And they got a guy over there right now that was a former NFL head coach, and he was also a former NFL defensive coordinator. That Ohio State defense looks like NFL caliber. So just remember that I said that. I have Ohio State winning the Big Ten this year. I believe Michigan will be a good team still, but I have Ohio State winning the Big Ten. All right, so let's go to the number 2 team in the country. I'm kind of just like everybody else. I got question marks about Penn State because I don't know Penn State. I don't even think Penn State knows Penn State right now. We will see come Saturday night on what they can actually do against Oregon. If they can go out there and they can beat Oregon, Penn State is still that team, and Penn State is going to jump to the number 1 rank. Okay? Remember what I said. I haven't watched Penn State like that all year. I will watch them next Saturday, though, for sure. But we will see. We will see. The number 3 team, and which is Georgia. If I'm not, no. Yeah, I think it's, or is it Oregon? Let me see what the number 3 team is. Because I had it up here. Let me see who is all top 25 now. All right. The number 3 team, where they at? LSU. I still have question marks about LSU. All right. LSU is a good team. Understand and listen to what I say when I say that defense is bad in Baton Rouge. DJ Legway, oh my God, he got introduced to Baton Rouge in an annihilation type of way. He really got introduced. This is Baton Rouge, and that was just that. That's the Baton Rouge that I looked at for years in the SEC. Okay? And they look every bit of what they were thought out to be, in which that defense is probably number 1 in the country right now. And if you get an LSU team that has like the number 1 defense, that team is going to end up in the SEC championship game if everything goes right. Okay? Man, you're hearing it from an A&M fan himself. If everything goes right, that team may end up in the SEC championship game. The questions that I have is the offense. Did Garrett Nussmeier take a seat back, or is Garrett Nussmeier just letting his defense play for him? We will see. But I'm not a big believer in Garrett Nussmeier. I'm not. But he continues to win them games. Okay? But ultimately on yesterday, that defense won LSU that game big time. All right, keep on going. The number 14, Miami. I'm going to be real here. I don't think Miami is the number 4 team in the country. All right. They look good. Don't get me wrong, they look good. But I think Miami is still kind of fool's gold right now. I believe in Carson Beck. And that's crazy that a lot of people don't believe in that guy, but I believe in Carson Beck. I still think Miami got a whole lot to prove. They do. I believe the defense is legit. Okay, I will say that. The defense is legit. They are legit. But if you're going to tell me Miami is the number 4 team in the country, I'm going to say that you're a lie. Okay, but people can say the same thing about A&M. But, man, we will see about Miami. I haven't watched them a whole lot this year. I'll have both games on, Miami and Florida. and also Oregon and Penn State come this Saturday. So we will see how Miami looks against a pretty bad Florida team right now. Okay, let's keep on going. The number 5 team. The number 5 team is Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Me personally, I believe Georgia deserves that rank. They went into Tennessee, into Knoxville, and although people want to say that Tennessee gave that game away, in which they did, Georgia won it. I don't know what else you want those guys to do, but they went in there and they done what they were supposed to do. Okay, Georgia's every bit of good. I have no clue why people were sleeping on Georgia. You know, that was just absolutely insane to me. And I believe they're going to be good going forward. Okay, and that's just that. Somebody in the comments saying, "What are your thoughts about Charlie Kirk?" I'm going to tell you right now, I don't talk about politics on this podcast at all. Only thing I will say is that my condolences are with his family. It's messed up. Regardless of what the guy done, me personally, I did not know the dude at all. That's like my first time hearing about the guy. But I wouldn't want anybody to get killed like that. So, you know, it is what it is. But my condolences are to him and his family, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Okay. Let's keep on going here. The number 16, Oregon. Where they at? Yeah, Oregon is the number 6 team in the country. Oh, I'm sorry. Oregon doesn't play Penn State this weekend. They play Oregon State. I don't know why I thought it was Penn State. Penn State plays somebody this weekend. But then again, it may be next weekend, I guess. But Oregon plays Oregon State. This is a good rivalry game. Oregon State always plays them tough. I saw what they done on last game, but let's be real here. They weren't really facing anybody, but they done what they were supposed to do. I have no problem with where Oregon is ranked. I do believe in Dan Lanning. I'm not sure if A&M reached out to Dan Lanning on last year to be the head coach or not, but anybody would be willing to get that guy. Okay, and if I'm being real, he's not leaving Oregon no time soon. That team is legit, okay, but we will see how they look going forward throughout the season. All right, number 17, Florida State. I think Florida State looks good. Florida State will continue to play ball, and Florida State is playing Gus Malzahn football. That's the only thing I will say. Okay? I believe that Florida State is truly playing Gus Malzahn football in the ACC. He is. I think we're seeing a better version of Gus Malzahn football in the ACC. But if he was a problem in the SEC when he was fresh, so, man, we'll see. We will see. I see a couple of guys in the comments. J Pops, I was wondering about you earlier today, and here you are. I'm glad you're back. Hey, man, shout out to you. Okay, that's Harlan Johnson. Shout out to you. Yes, I'm here. Okay, I am back making podcasts on the regular. Okay, Jalen Free, dude, did you see they just said Crawford cheating with rocks in his glove? I did not. They just found rocks in his glove layer. Oh my goodness! If that is true, then they're going to suspend that guy. I don't think they're going to do anything about the victory, but they're going to end up suspending him. If that is all true, we don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know at all, but we will see. The number 18, Texas, I think I already talked about them. I really don't believe that Texas should be a top 10 team, but until somebody beats them, then you can't take them out of the top 10, okay? And it is what it is. The number 9 team, Who's number 9? And I think a lot of people are off this week. It's a lot of top 25 teams. Oh, Illinois. Illinois is still suspect. Okay, I haven't seen too much Illinois, so I can't really comment on those guys. I will say this here: the head coach that's over there, Brett Bielema. He's a very good coach when he's on and rolling. I think a lot of people forget that Arkansas was like a top 10 team when he was here one year, and it came down to the wire where he played Alabama. That was like the 2014 season. It came down to the wire, and Alabama just ended up beating. Okay, but I do believe that he's a good head coach when he wants to be at times. But other than that, I don't really have too much else on that. And then, of course, right, number 10 is Texas A&M. I just believe they got to keep playing ball. That's it. They got to keep playing ball. All right, so, guys, I've been on here for almost an hour. I love all of you guys. I thank you all for tuning in. For all the guys that have came in, that were all new subscribers, make sure that you continue to tune into the show, okay? I have one of these on Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? I'm a big Conroe Tiger fan, okay? Conroe Tiger High School, which is in Conroe, Texas. Oh, forgive me. Which is in Conroe, Texas. And my son, he plays on the JV team, okay? So, reason why I said Tuesdays and Thursdays is because he has games on Wednesdays and he got them on Thursdays. So, you kind of like just never know. Okay, so the podcast is, like I said, will always air out, at least the ones in the weekdays, around about 9 p.m., okay? On Saturday, I have to really legitimately get around to doing this because I do want to host a couple of live events while watching the football game. Okay, we talking about like 3-hour shows where it's just literally live. All right, so just make sure that you guys keep that in mind, okay? But I love all of you guys, man. Once again, continue to tune into the podcast. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Shout out to everybody that Jake Crane pushed over here. Shout out to everybody that Drew Texas A&M on Twitter. He pushed over here. He has the podcast. That thing is up and rolling. And shout out to TexAgs from anybody over there that tuned into the show and that SEC podcast as well with SEC Mike and all of you guys. All right. I love all of you, man. And once again, hashtag Gig 'em Aggies.